What if I told you that the most basic rule of economics, supply and demand, doesn't work the way you think it does in the stock market? Let's say a pension fund buys 1 billion worth of stock. Common sense says the market value of the stock market should go up by 1 billion, right? Because money in equals value up. Wrong. Dead wrong. According to groundbreaking study by Harvard and the University of Chicago, the data shows something shocking. For every 1 rupee invested into the market, the aggregate value of the market increased by nearly 5 rupees. This phenomena is called the Inelastic Market Hypothesis. And if you are a trader looking ahead to 2026, this might be the single most important concept you need to understand, because it explains why markets crash hardly than they logically should and why markets pump far beyond what fundamentals suggest. Today, we are breaking down the 5x multiplier case study and, more importantly, how you can use it. First, we need to understand one word: inelasticity. Imagine you go to the market to buy apples. If the price doubles, you say, too expensive, I'll buy oranges instead. This is an elastic market. You are sensitive to price. Now imagine you need a life-saving medicine. If the price doubles, do you walk away? No. If the price triples, you still gonna buy it because you have to buy it, and that is an inelastic market. Demand doesn't disappear just because the price goes up. Now here's the case study findings. The stock market is not an apple market. It is a medicine market. Most economists believe that if Reliance Industries become too expensive, investors would simply sell it and move their money onto bonds or other stocks. But the Buybacks and Cohesion research proves something very different. Investors are surprisingly stubborn. They don't exit just because the prices rise. They hold on to stocks like Reliance almost regardless of valuation. And this single behavior is what creates outsized rallies and brutal crashes. So why is the market so stubborn? Why doesn't anyone sell? The answer lies in a one word, and it's called mandates. In 2026, most of the money in the market is not controlled by traders like you and me. It's controlled by giant pension funds, mutual funds and ETF houses. Think Vanguard, BlackRock, Motilal, Nippon. These institutions don't think like humans. They operate like robots. Each of them follows a strict rule called a fixed mandate. For example, we must keep 60% of our money in stocks and 40% in bonds. Now watch what happens. The scenario: the stock market falls. A human trader panics and sells. But the robot fund checks its portfolios and says, my stock have fallen. I am now at 50% stocks. But my rule says I must be at 60%, right? So what does the robot do? It buys more stocks, not because it's bullish, because it has to. Now flip the situation. The market pumps. Do these funds sell to book profits? No, they simply hold. So their allocation stays at 60%. And here is the key insight. Because these massive funds are price insensitive, they do not provide liquidity. It means they don't sell when you want to buy. They don't panic when prices fall. And this creates an artificial shortage of shares. And that's why markets move harder, faster and more violently than logic suggests. And this brings us to the magic number 5. Because almost nobody wants to sell thanks to institutional mandates. When a new buyer enters the market with 1 rupees, they can't buy quietly. They have to bid prices up aggressively to convince someone to part with their shares. The study found something shocking. To absorb 1 rupee of net inflow, market prices must rise enough to increase the total market capitalization by nearly 5 rupees. That's the 5x multiplier. When central banks inject liquidity, this effect becomes explosive. If the government or the Reserve Bank of India injects liquidity into the system and even a fraction of that money flows into equities, the Nifty 50 doesn't rise by that exact amount. It rises by multiple times. It says 10,000 crore of net equity inflow does not mean 10,000 crore added to market value. It can mean 40 to 50,000 crore added to total market capitalization. This explains the mystery volatility. Why did Indian markets rally so hard after 2020? Massive liquidity inflows by 5x. Why do markets fall so fast on bad news? Even a small outflow times 5 works in reverse. The stock market is not a wide highway. It's a narrow door with a passive crowd trying to pass through. A small push creates a huge movement, and once you understand this, market behavior stops looking irrational. It starts looking mechanical. So how does this help you, the easy trader audience? Number 1, fundamentals matter less, flows matter more. Stop obsessing over PE ratios in isolation. In an inelastic market, prices are not set by earnings alone. They are set by money flows. If money is entering the system through SIP inflows, pension allocations, RBI liquidity, FII buying or DII buying, the market can rise even when the economy looks weak. And this is why bad news often fail to crash markets, and good liquidities send them flying. Watch corporate buyback closely. A buyback is a pure inflow. When a company buys its own shares, it's removing supply from an already inelastic market. And if a large Indian companies like Reliance, TCS or Infosys announces a 10,000 crore of buyback, the inelastic market suggests this can create 40 to 50,000 crore of additional market value over time. That's the 5x multiplier in action. Follow companies doing large consistent buybacks. They're quietly pulling the strongest lever in the market, the passive investing boom. And this is the big one. As we have moved toward 2026, more Indians are shifting to index funds, ETFs, auto investing apps. This money buys regardless of valuation, buys every month, rarely sells, and that makes the market even more inelastic, which means one thing: the multiplier effect is getting stronger. We are entering an era where rallies stretch farther than logic allows. Correction happen faster and sharper, and volatility becomes the new normal. Old textbook says the market is efficient. New data proves that the market is a multiplier machine driven by money flows. So the next time you see the market pumping on no news, remember the inelastic market hypothesis. Somewhere someone pushed hard money into the system and the multiplier quietly turned it into 5x. If you want to track these flows with me, not headlines, not noise, real money, make sure you subscribe, because here we don't just watch the news, we watch where the money goes. I have attached the research paper in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, peace.